the Russians are trying their own invasion right now, their own offensive. It's not really going anywhere. It's not very impressive. The Russian army doesn't seem to be much more capable than they've been since the beginning of the war. The Ukrainians will try an offensive in the south, early spring probably. I think the prospects for that aren't very good either. The Russians are really dug in. So I think we're kind of headed for a very ugly, brutal, bloody stalemate.
Is China apologist and appeaser to Moscow, or potentially a critical player in bringing Russia to the negotiations table and peace talks?
Kind of both, I guess. I think what the Chinese are up to here, and it's clever, is they're going to offer a peace plan. A cessation of hostilities, probably a ban on foreign arms to Ukraine, which would obviously hurt Ukraine a lot more than it would hurt Russia. I think they are mainly trying to burnish their own image, the Chinese image in the global south. But there's also word out there that if the U.S. and the West turn this peace plan down, the Chinese could provide significant lethal military assistance to Russia. And that would be a turning point in U.S.-China relations and potentially in the war.
So this is not good, if true, Cliff. I mean, it's literally, look, if you don't agree to this plan on paper, well, then we're going to move to hardware and arms. The piece of paper, though, the proposal, whatever it ends up being like, what the Chinese is proposing, it's got to include, I would think, and I want your thoughts on this, the fact that whatever Russia has managed to carve out of Ukraine, they are allowed to keep. Would you agree on that? And two, if that's the case, who on earth is going to agree to that on the other side?
Well, the Indians, the Brazilians, there are a lot of countries out there. I would say the majority of the world's population lives in them that will agree to that. They just want a ceasefire. We all have to remember that most developing countries resent what they perceive as high oil prices caused by this war. In part, they're completely right. And resent the fact that they're paying the price for a war they have nothing to do with, want nothing to do with, and have no influence over. So I think there's a big audience out there. Now, that audience isn't particularly powerful. The power brokers are the U.S. and the EU. They're going to have nothing to do with this. But this is bad news. I think the Chinese plan is potentially very bad news.